All right. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my basement. Another edition of quarantine content. Hope you all are safe. We're gonna go down memory lane, revisiting some of the coolest, biggest projects that we've ever done, and you guys are coming with us. Let's do it.
Alex, how you doing, bud?
Good, dude. Long time no see.
Oh man, I miss you, man. It's crazy going from seeing you every day to like not at all.
Today we're going to be looking at some of the biggest flight test projects of all time. And I don't know if you know this, but we have like 1,200 videos. We're starting from the very early days, back in 2010-ish, and we're going up to about 2014, 2015. This is like, I guess if people like these style of videos, this will end up being part one of biggest projects of all time.
So crazy seeing you. I'm sorry, I'm just fixated on your beard and your glasses, man. It's like,
yeah,
how long
man,
has it been since we've been there? They look great.
I'm a different man now. These are my new blue light glasses, thanks to our sponsor over at Shady. They're our new official, technically sunglass sponsor of Flite Test.
Yeah.
All right, man. So first and foremost, a lot of people weren't here for the early days, but I figured I'd bring it back to the very, very first big project, at least that I know of. This guy
cinder
right
block.
Here.
I knew it!
This is the classic of all classic flight test projects right here.
No, doesn't fly.
And look at you, man, with the chin strap. This is awesome.
Like, I don't think the show would have gotten where it was without Josh Scott being in it. His entertaining tone and just how he brought things to reality was just incredible.
All right, here it is, the biggest scratch build I've ever seen.
Yeah, in the shortest amount of time too.
Yeah.
I'm horrified. Look at that wing.
Yeah, man, lots changed.
Oh my gosh.
Lots changed. So you're using, obviously, this is pink foam.
Yeah, it was before Dollar Tree foam board was like in my DNA. Like, I was still going to the hardware stores, and for a big project we needed big foam. The people at Lowe's actually would laugh at me because they'd only see me pick up really odd things. Man, what I would give to go back to the cinder block, because how different it would be. Frankly, how much cooler it would look too.
Look at that big wooden prop. Yeah.
That was off a nitro motor. Back then, we didn't have like a huge arsenal of different motors. That motor traveled to so many different airplanes. I remember taking it to like a vise and like bending the shaft back straight and being like, it's close enough, you know? A lot of people don't realize I had a full-time job during this time. This was done in the evening, every evening at my house. It was kind of funny because we never thought about documenting the actual build. Like, who would have thought? Like,
that's crazy. Even to this day, that's still impressive. That cinder block is so much. I don't think we've flown any kind of object that heavy since.
It was so underpowered.
Ready? Let's do it. Give her all she's got. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
There we go.
Liftoff.
We have liftoff.
Brick is flying.
That looks awesome.
Oh, we were so hardcore.
Oh, that thing is underpowered. It's like a ground effect vehicle.
That's all it was. It had no power. Look, right there is where everything's like, nope, I'm done. And ground effect, if you guys don't know, that's basically if you take the wingspan and turn it vertically, that's kind of where your wing's in a bubble. And that's all we got. I was totally new to even talking on camera. I was totally new to the concept of, embracing the failure. Although it was talked about, it wasn't really lived out yet, because so much was kind of a controlled experience. And there was tremendous freedom and encouragement during the failures just to keep talking, and I really appreciated that. But it was a real special time to kind of dream big and do big and kind of plant those seeds.
Well, hey man, I can even say that even to this day, I get shaky hands every time I fly. And even though in the back of my mind, I know that you don't care if it crashes. I know that the content will likely be better if it crashes, but there's still just a lot of weight. You want it to work so bad that it's hard to not let the nerves get the best of you. For people who aren't familiar, you guys took a butterball turkey.
Yes, we did.
And you made it fly, not only fly in an airplane, but it actually flew the airplane with articulating arms and limbs. So explain yourself here, Josh.
Well, it was basically, I remember we were eating at a Subway. We were like, what are we going to do for next week's episode? And by the way, that was how it was. It wasn't like this dramatic, like plotting out episodes. It's just like it is today. What are we going to do for next week? And it was right before Thanksgiving, and we're like, let's make a turkey fly. Dave Vindestol was sitting in for the first time with with us. And Dave made an animatronic turkey.
So plug in the radio gear.
All
Turn,
right.
that's
Radio's
on.
plugged in too.
Good. Okay.
There we go.
And as you can see, we have a movable arm.
Yeah, because I mean, if turkey's gonna get its last flight, it's gonna have to fly, right? So I came on a Friday with an unpainted airplane. We got a test flight done, and then all of a sudden the paint started going on. And to this day, that is one of my favorite logos of all time. I just love that.
Looks like it was one of the first videos that our favorite Swede was in.
Yeah.
At least not the first video, but the first big project, I guess I should say.
Dave came down for his first visit during this time, and it was kind of cool getting to meet him for the first time, but also then having him work on this project. But I think this is one of his first like kind of big challenges where like, hey, in the video, can you make X? And he sure did.
Ready?
Come on, yeah.
She's flying.
Look at him bouncing around. That's hilarious. Another thing I noticed is it looks like Dave's flying the tricopter. This is probably one of the early episodes that has good air-to-air. It's not anything like what's possible with mini quads today, but at the time, Dave Windestall was a big innovator in the
no doubt.
FPV space.
Yeah, he's like the godfather of chase cam, you know?
Let's go ahead and see if we can get him in one piece.
Okay. You got it. Nice, dude, nice.
There we go.
So it looks like it slows down pretty well, even with that weight.
So the thrust angle on that plane was so bad that when I gave full throttle, I had to hold full up. The second I backed off the throttle, I realized it was all thrust angle, but it would have flown absolutely beautiful, just crawling around at a snail's pace if I had angled the motor up. So much I didn't know back then.
Hey, welcome to Flite Test. I'm Josh, and this is Josh.
Hi.
And the question on everyone's mind, will it blend and fly?
And fly.
So this is almost a year later, and this is the Will It Blend video. Currently only has 87,000 views. So a lot of people probably don't even know that this video exists. So basically the premise is they made a giant biplane to carry a fruit smoothie blender to blend a fruit smoothie in the air so they could drink it.
That's it. That's it. Of course. And it's kind of funny because that was built in the basement of my my home. That actually became one of our first swappable kits.
But yeah, so this is quite the technical feat as well. So on the blender itself, it's not a typical blender, right? Did you have a hobby motor on that thing?
Yeah. So we just got the laser cutter, and so they designed and laser cut a mount for the brushless motor to mount up to the bottom of the baby blender, and that was what Josh was able to control with another transmitter. So he was juicing it.
Blackberries, grapes, strawberries.
Yeah, Mountain Dew. I had a real soda addiction back then, and we had chocolate peanut butter cups. I missed that plane. That was such a fun plane to fly. Such a gentle plane to fly.
All right, we are in the air.
How's it feel?
Good. Are you blending?
Yeah, you want me to go?
Go blend.
Here we go.
I hear it. How's it looking in there?
It's blending.
We're blending?
Need some of the ice to catch.
All right, got to get the ice in there. I'll just keep going around a couple more times, okay?
All right.
It actually flies pretty nice.
Truthfully, it did not taste bad. It tasted really good. And if you go to like the gas station sheets, you can get like a chocolate peanut butter banana smoothie with different fruits, and it tastes just like that, just minus the Mountain Dew. That wasn't a good mix.
Yeah, I would honestly go for it. I think I'd try it.
Hey, welcome to Flite Test. I'm Josh, and this is Josh.
Hi.
So this was a unique design as well. It's got this like crazy, what do you call it? It's like a reverse gull wing, almost like a Corsair kind of style wing.
Inverted gull wing, you nailed it, designed.
And so for those of you guys who weren't early adopters to Windows, there was an iconic wallpaper that was basically just flying toasters and pieces of toast flying by. The idea was to kind of make an RC plane to mimic that.
The music was awesome too. That plane I crashed more times. We called it the Wombat, was the name I affectionately gave it to it later. Yeah, look at Dave Vindestall's ingenuity with how he made that toaster work.
One day I remember specifically you guys were like, hey Alex, can you come film? We got to go test the toaster. And basically what ended up happening is we were out driving around town with this toaster hanging out the window because you guys wanted to test it with some airflow going over.
Just testing some stuff. You know,
A little science experiment.
science stuff.
Yeah.
Toaster with a camera on it.
Not suspicious at all.
This is honestly really fun because this is when we first started showing some more of the journey, because at this time I had left my job painting full time, and I was actually designing the airplanes for manufacturing. We're putting products on the store. You were working crazy hours manufacturing, and so it was more of a job, but there's also a lot more of the story that was on camera, and that was really special.
The toast is dancing around.
Oh,
There we go.
oh my God.
Got a little bit of drag from one wheel.
I
but-
think I was way more nervous than you were.
All
right.
I remember this really clearly too, because all the previous huge power projects would barely fly or get out of ground effect or had inherent problems. This is one of the ones, especially being full time, where as we were designing, like the evolution of like knowing how to do it was really starting to take effect, because the motors, comparatively to the size and the weight it was carrying, were incredibly small, which meant the wings were finally working more. And I just remember getting to test these planes out, thinking, holy cow, what we've learned in just the past 3 years. And look at the power on that thing. It was hysterical.
Yeah, I remember personally having doubts about this thing flying, and if it did fly, I had a good feeling it was going to crash. But that being said, quite the opposite actually ended up happening. It flew beautifully and it had plenty of power. The toast actually was toasted and you guys got to eat it. It actually worked out pretty darn well.
You're really messing me up, man, because every one of these planes now, from the Blender to the Foul Flyer to this plane now, it's like, man, I want to build that again. I want to build that again. I want to build that again.
I remember this thing was fun to fly.
It was so stable. Wow, it's
Yeah. Hey, welcome to Flite Test. I'm David. This is Josh.
Hi, and today is a special day. How many videos have they gotten us to?
400.
Oh, I remember
March
this.
31st, 2014, because I feel like this is a good endpoint for the first series of this style video.
Yeah.
So this is the 400th episode of Flite Test. You and our favorite Swede, David, you guys decided for 400, you guys would each make a 200% plane. And this was just the beginnings of a lot of what you see now in some of our big projects.
Yeah.
It was the first time you guys were experimenting with traditional kind of style airframes with our original foam board. It was such a cool project.
It was one of the original monsters, you know?
So you built a 200% cruiser, which is a double size cruiser, and then David built his Spitfire 200%.
What a great flying airplane that was. I remember it was also one of our first major sponsors, HostGator.
That's why there's that little alligator in David's plane.
What did you call this earlier?
The Gatorade.
Gatorade!
Yeah, let's do it.
The first person gator view.
Yep.
And then you had bomb bays on yours. So you guys each had some unique intricacies to your design.
Oh my gosh!
Power.
That was so effortless!
Oh my gosh, it flies so good.
Anything with the wind?
Nah, it's just pushing you a little bit.
Just push a little bit?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna take on the goggles. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
How's your reception?
It's beautiful.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're flying FPV.
Yeah. For the first time with this plane.
No problem!
And I remember specifically this time too, because David was flying the Spitfire. This is one of the early videos that I flew chase quad. Specifically at the time, I think I was flying a blackout hexacopter, which is one of the very, very early first carbon fiber race quads, or hexes, I guess I should say.
Look at that. I always loved how David attacked point of perspective views.
Yeah, he
And-
loves doing that.
Oh, I remembered it was such a special, experience, and now I want to build a big monster cruiser again.
And so you launched these bombs, and I remember specifically.
Yeah, I'm pretty
3,
good.
2, 1, here we go!
Oh my gosh!
Ah!
Streamer, I caught
Hey,
you.
you just caught my streamer already! Look at that! Look at the one gator stuck to me.
Yeah, there's one of them stuck on the end of the...
It doesn't even care.
If you look in some of these video clips when he's pulling G's, you can actually see the wings already starting to flex a little bit.
Yeah.
A little foreshadowing right there, actually. A little foreshadowing of what was to come for this Spitfire.
A great way to end that plane too and stuff. Remember how windy it was that day?
It was super windy, and I just remember how easy those planes were to fly.
Yeah.
Like first time ever, you bringing it in there, just greasing those landings. FPV landing.
Look at this so slow.
Watch yourself.
Nice. You landed under
That's
the
how you
hood.
parked it. Oh, I have a
Good
streamer.
job, man.
Oh my gosh, that's a long streamer.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. This video here was the 400th episode, and now Flite Test is well over 1,000. I think we're at 1,200 some videos. So if you guys like this style of video, definitely leave us a comment down below if you want to see more of this. There's plenty more projects that we can kind of revisit and kind of share some behind the scenes and reminisce a little bit, because this is only going up to 2014. This is only 4 years into Flite Test, so the biggest of projects are still yet to come.
Alex, man, this is awesome. Thank you for putting this together and taking us through memory lane. And I'm really excited. I hope we can revisit some of these.
If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so, and until the next one, guys, we'll see you later.
See ya.